Hey guys, I just got back from the annual Radio Club of Illinois Radiofest swap meet, and I'd like to show you what I picked up. Now, I'm sorry I didn't record any video while walking around like I normally do. To be honest, it's kind of a hassle. Some people don't like being filmed. I don't like having to edit the shaky camera video, but I did take a bunch of photos. I'll include a montage at the end. Unlike the previous few years, we had perfect weather for it. It was a pretty good turnout. I spent most of my time in the donation area. So the way it works is you can donate stuff to the radio club, and they put it off to the special area. And at the start of the event, you negotiate a price with the radio club. And they're very fair. At some point, everything becomes $10 an item, later $5 an item, and eventually free. So, of course, the good stuff people want first, and that's where the negotiating comes into play. So, the first things, what did I get first? Trying to remember. This guy and something else, I think. Oh yeah, the box of tubes under there. We'll look at in a moment. So this I walked by a few times. I wasn't sure what the heck it was. I'm still not sure what the heck it is, other than what it says on it, which is United Television Laboratories. We've got a, what do they call these, graticule on the front, however you pronounce that. Oddly mounted out in front off some standoffs, but it's in good condition. So you have a very nice fine grid pattern on there, 5-inch CRT, and a whole bunch of controls. Now, oscilloscope, vertical input, ground, vertical gain, horizontal input, ground, horizontal gain. So that would get you an XY monitor. It doesn't seem to have, though, horizontal time base. So I don't think it has a trigger mode. But you can sweep with it, too, apparently. Unless when they talk about sweep range and sweep vernier, that they're talking about a horizontal sweep. And I do have a sync selector. So I'll have to, I guess this is just a scope. And yeah, there's our sync input. So I think you're expected to either kind of use it as an XY monitor or use this. Yeah. So there's no microseconds or milliseconds per division. It's just sweep range 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is probably very much intended for TV servicing. In fact, they have an AC interlock output here. I guess you'd plug your TV right in here. So you'd look at your, say, the grid waveform on the horizontal output tube, your vertical oscillator, that kind of stuff. So I think it's geared just for those lower frequencies, just for TV work. But it's strange. It's in a wood cabinet. Is that factory? If it's homemade, somebody did a really nice job on it. But I've never seen a piece of test equipment in a wood cabinet like this. In the back, you have no information. Maybe you plug the power into the front? Is this thing homemade? Is this a prototype? What the heck is this? How do you even get the back off? There's no handle, there's nothing to grab onto to yank it off. I guess take the screws off the front and slide it out. I don't know. Now these should look very familiar to you. You've been watching my videos lately on restoring electrostatic TVs. Yeah, I got a pair of Admiral electrostatic TVs just like the one that I'm currently restoring. Slightly different cabinet. It's a little bit earlier version of it. These are 19A12s, black Bakelite cabinet. I got tipped off by an online friend that he was going to be donating these to the club, and I picked them up. They are rough. We have no knobs. This chassis in particular was a mouse house, and it's very corroded inside. We do have a back. These are very, very often missing, and this may be the nicest one I've seen where none of these screw holes are chewed out. So I'm going to make a template of this. Trace the outlines, measure some of the dimensions. It's easy enough to make these if you have a template. I wouldn't mind knocking out half a dozen of these to have some on hand. You can see how corroded those brass control shafts are. But this is where you get spare parts to fix these sets, is from rough sets like these. So between the two, I should be able to make one nice set. The cabinets, especially this one, look to be in very good shape, no cracks, needs a good cleaning. Okay, and then while TV was on my mind, I walked by this a few times and thought about it. I've seen these before. It's an RCA Universal Color Test jig. I'm thinking from maybe the 70s. Obviously it's rectangular, it's not the early color type. The idea is it's just like those little bench black and white test CRTs I use, or the one that comes in a little box with a carrying handle that has its own yoke. You can plug these into the TV chassis you're working on via adapters. So you got your high voltage lead here, it needs some repairing, and then you plug your yoke in there. It has a built-in high voltage meter, and you can, I guess, adjust some yoke parameters for vertical and horizontal to get it to fill up. I did get the little instruction book with it, and the CRT that comes in it is a ruggedized one, just like the black and white ruggedized test CRTs. So it's a type 1906 P22, which can take up to 33,000 volts. Static convergence assembly, high efficiency deflection yoke, magnetic shielding, and you get some adapters. Now what really sold me on it was this. It is also possible to test all the older RCA chassis which use a 21-inch round 70-degree picture beginning with the CTC7. It'd be cool if I get it to work with the CTC5, but for sure I can work with the CTC16, I think. The two color roundies I got last year. I also got a bunch of adapters with it, and I believe this is what you would use for the color roundies. Pins got bent a little bit. So this, I presume, would plug into the CRT that's in there, and this would plug into your color roundy. And I got a nice long extension for it as well. So this is another adapter of sorts. So I got a bunch of adapters in here. What I'm not sure about is the yoke connections. So these are the things. Oh, a little digital readout. I'm not sure what that's about. So I guess like this is one type of adapter. Just plug into that, and this plugs into the set, something like that. I don't know exactly how to hook the yokes up, but I think these are fairly well documented. I can get the full manual online. I just have the little like 2-pager right now, but I'm sure there's a more extensive manual that tells you how to hook it up to various models and what adapters to use. Do I strictly need it to work on those sets? No, but I figured, hey, it was $10. We can play around with it. I don't even know what the picture tube in it's good or not, but you know, hey, I've got one now. Then Sam's, they had 2 file cabinets, basically every Sam's from Sam's 1 to about 600. They were a bit picked over when I went through them, but I went into the early folders, early cabinet section, and I got lucky. I got a lot of Sam's for sets that I have. Here's my TS16 Stromberg Carlson, Dumont, a lot of 7-inch electrostatic sets. And some I grabbed just because they're rather unusual, like this True Tone combo porthole. There's a Bendix I have. Stromberg Carlson I have. And here's the earliest Philco 7-inch electrostatic TV. Somebody asked me there, said that they had heard of one that's like a Widowmaker type electrostatic set, an early set. This is the one. This is the one with the high voltage. The EHT comes off the mainline transformer, not a little RF oscillator. Some Olympics, National. I've got a couple of these. I'd love to get one of these. I don't have one, but I know what they are, and they are rare and collectible. Silvertone 8132. I got one of those. I got one of those. And there's that blonde porthole I've been working on. So like I said, I got lucky. I got Sam's for a bunch of them. posted a photo of these. I have a couple of these fold-out Bakelite Philco bookshelf radios we'll talk about someday. And I got one of those. And that is about that. Alright, so what else did I get? This is a box of tubes, but only one type. They are all 6DQ6, which is what's used in the 17-inch Predictas. And there were a number of boxes of TV tubes, one of just used 1B3 high voltage rectifiers, one of used high voltage shunt regulators from color sets. But this, I think, was the best of the lot of the TV tubes. So, that was a pretty good score there. It was 20 bucks for this box. I'm going to pop one out. I've been burned before where I think these are all new, but when I open them up, they're actually used poles. Nope, not this time. That is the real deal. That is new old stock RCA. Cool. So I think I am set for a long time for 6DQ6s. Alright, how about the box below? There were two of these boxes. I thought about grabbing both of them, but I don't want to be too greedy. It is a box of power resistors. If you've been watching my porthole videos, you know how each one of those porthole sets has half a dozen bad sand-coated power resistors. And these are expensive. Something like this. These are still made. Looks just like this, though. Might hasn't changed their design in decades. 25 watt 3K resistor. These are like 10 bucks each or 8 bucks each, something like that. So just for a couple of these, paid for the whole box. Or something like this. A 50 watt ohmite adjustable wire wound resistor. I think a $20 resistor. Now some aren't so good. I'll have to pick through this box. And well, hey, it still has continuity, right? But no, I think that's destined for the trash. So I'll pick through here what I really wanted, the ohmite type, the newer one, the vitreous enamel coated ones versus these. Still make them, but these are not quite as nice. Anyways, there's a lot of them in here. Oh yeah, and I did come across some tubes there as well. Got a nice 80 globe rectifier. These are used, untested, so no idea if they're good or not. Ooh, the getter on that one looks rather strange. It's all wrinkly. Doesn't mean it's bad. Type 56. But I did score a couple of really nice tubes, I hope. Walked by these a couple times, almost missed them, but ooh, look at that. What are these? These are 2A3s. Very desirable audio output tubes. This is an Arcturus made in USA. They call that a black plate, a flat plate. I don't know all the audiophile terms. These are untested. Didn't pay a whole lot for them because of the unknown condition, but we shall see. This one's Sylvania. Supposedly good. Very different plate construction now. I think these flat plate ones, those are the ones that bring the big bucks with the audiophiles, but either way, I'm pretty sure these both have some value if they're good. So, got a lot of resistors to sort through, got some tubes to test. And I was going through some of the free piles and I found this. Just a little 5-inch round Utah replacement speaker. These are getting harder and harder to find. So many little TVs and radios use something like that, so there we go. I'm sure someday I'll need one of these, just like in one of those sets. And finally, as I was digging through the free stuff for the third or fourth time, buried under some junk, I found this. At first I thought it was a projection CRT. Well, it didn't look like an electrostatic CRT to me, but yes, that is what it is. It's a 5AP1. one of the early types. 58P4 is what some of the pre-war sets use. So it's electrostatic, but what seems odd is the neck is so long and straight. So if you had deflection plates down here, they'd hit the side of the neck on their way to the front, so the deflection plates must be down in this area, which is quite a ways from the end of it. Don't know if it's good, don't have any use for it, but hey, it was free, and I didn't have one, so I add that to the collection. Alright, let's wrap up this video by testing the 2A through, I'll test all the tubes, and let's take a peek inside of that guy. I'll do a more in-depth video when I have time, but I want to get a gander as what exactly is inside that thing. I did a little bit of research on United Television Laboratories, and apparently they did a correspondence course, and as part of taking their course you would get the oscilloscope. So clearly somebody took this and upgraded it. So this is this is mine. So they added this grid in front, and they added the AC adapter, the lights on either side, and maybe they fabricated their own cabinet. I'm not quite sure how the scope came. That's all the info I have so far, but I will keep digging. But it looks like it's just a basic oscilloscope that was used as part of a television servicing correspondence course or training course. Did a little more digging at the Early Television Museum website and found this brochure that lists the type of training that they offer and tools and kits that you could get, I guess, through the school. And I think you'd build them as part of some of the courses. So there's a meter, there is a radio, there is a little scope. These are pretty desirable. There's one on eBay right now for something like $600. A little 2-inch guy using a 2AP 1 type CRT. It looked like that when fully assembled. And then there's the one I have. And boy, would I much rather have it as a kit, build it myself. So I guess we'll find out when we open it up what the build quality is like. But I've yet to find anything in terms of documentation. That's all we know. So far, anyways. So many more photos on the little 2-inch guy than the 5-inch one, even in their own brochure. There's a whole pile of scopes in the stock room. Alright, let's dig into it. Alright, let's test the 80 rectifier first. Base is a little loose. The elements inside are knocked over to the side a little bit. It's a common problem with these globe tubes because there's no support at the top for this internal structure. So if they get dropped, handled roughly, or even during the manufacture process, the elements can get bent over. You can whack them the opposite way to straighten them back out, but you're more likely to damage internal elements, so just live with it. Let's get our line adjust set. The filaments are glowing. Got this set up for type 80 and P3. We are good. Should test it for shorts first. Honestly, I can't recall ever detecting a short in a rectifier tube. Not really good at 0.2. We drop this to 15. Alright, that is one good Globe 80 tube. I think you can see there, it's not quite level, but I can live with that. Now, as far as the loose base, so I talked about using sodium silicate liquid glass, which does work fine, but a viewer gave me a fantastic tip about wicking in a solvent. I don't recall what he said he used, but I've been using denatured alcohol because I looked up what the ingredients are in the original base cement, and it contains shellac, and the solvent for shellac is alcohol. Acetone, I bet, works too. So load up a brush, go around a couple times, get it all soaked in there, wiggle this a little to let it set in, and just let it sit for a few hours. And the few times I've done it, the base was on rock solid afterwards. Let's do the 56. My internal roller is just completely shot on this. I've tried loosening it up. I don't know the tricks to loosen it up, if there even are any. So I just got my little cheat sheet here I go off of. So it's a 2.5 filament, JR 3204, 3204, 0, 30 and 63. Spaces on there pretty solidly. Line adjust. Oh yeah, it's glowing. Just not very brightly. Looks like a good tube. Excellent. Alright, now the ones I really want to test the 2A3s. .5 JR 3200 3200 6881. Alrighty. So triodes, just get 4 pins on the base. Double check that filament before I blow it out if it's set too high. I bet the line adjust needs to go up a little, because these draw a bit of current. Yep, lighting up. Very hard to see. Yep. Alright. I know I should let it sit longer and warm up, but I don't think you guys want to sit around and watch the tube warm up. Not so good. Let me double check all my settings here. This is the one that had the number written on it saying that it was good. But maybe it was used a lot since I was written. Or maybe it wasn't accurate in the first place. 68, 81, 32000, filament adjust. Yep. That's a weak tube. Oh well. Probably still work fine, but definitely not a primo tube. Ooh, this has a very loose, that's cracked. The filament pins is cracked. Jeez, should probably get a new base installed, which is also not going to be great for the value if I was looking to resell this. Just hope it stands up enough for me to test it. So one of the filaments is lighting up, or half of it. Oh yeah, it's all lighting up in there. Cool. Ooh, not cool. Man. Glad I didn't pay much for these. That's why you don't pay a lot of money for untested tubes. we have a short. A very bad short. We have multiple really bad shorts. If that happens, you do not test the tube because you can damage your tester. Oh, that stinks. Oh well. This one is just really a 2A3 because it's just a little sticky on here. It says it is. Oh yeah, now I can read it 2A3. Well, that sucks. I wonder what's shorted. I don't see any loose debris floating around in the tube. Don't hear anything loose in the base. Too bad this base isn't loose. If it was loose, I could unsolder these and pull the base off. And look for anything floating around inside there. But yeah, I mean, even with the tube not heated up, it's just instantly registering as dead short. Alright, so much for that. And that's the better one too, or to the aficionados. I'll spare you the screw removal. I've already taken the 4 screws out. I'm wondering why I'm on the floor, because my workbench is covered in projects and I need the space. Wow. Definitely looks homemade. Well, that's one way to shield a CRT. It's aluminum foil for part of it, and then part of it is this, which is flaking badly. Wonder if any of it's actual mu metal. It's the plywood box. Very well made though. Use some nice dowel or what do you call it, quarter round stock for bracing on there for where the screws go in. Okay, it's not joined on the corners, it's just square butt joints kind of, but as far as homemade cabinets go, that's one of the nicer ones I've encountered. So the scope itself, yeah, that's basic. That's what you get out of a kit. Notice everything's screwed together. No rivets or anything, or spot welding. I was wondering if this had an 884 in it. I don't think I've ever had a scope that used one of these, but it was a simple way to generate a sawtooth for the horizontal sweep. It's a Thyratron, maybe, something like that. Sort of like how we do it in solid state with a unijunction transistor. You can also make a simple one device sawtooth generator. Anyways, the big question is, what am I going to do with it? Yeah, it's an interesting piece of history. And it's cool that somebody built it and they customized it and tweaked it out. But what am I going to do with it? I'd love to donate it to a museum or something. I have no use for it. I'm not going to use it. Maybe I'll part it out. I don't know. Tubes I don't particularly care about. CRT, yes. But the rest of it, Some caps floating here in space. It's very well made. I mean, geez, now that I'm looking at it, they did some very nice cable lacing. In fact, it looks better than some commercially made stuff. All the tube sockets are ceramic. They're all meticulously soldered. The parts are, it looks like a Tektronix, where they use those, I forget what they call these little standoff things to solder parts onto. Turret. There you go. Yeah, turret boards or something like that they call them. So a power transformer and 2 other transformers. I suspect one of them is dedicated for the CRT filament. And one of these other ones might be a filter choke, and then the main power transformer. Or there might be one just for the high voltage. Hard to say. Goofy CRT base, a very loose CRT. That's the main thing I'm interested in, is what is in here. It's not a 5UP1. That's what I would have thought. It's too skinny for that. It does not have the bigger base, so it would not. You can't use this in an electrostatic TV as is. It's 5CP1 maybe? BP1. See, I hate to say it. I mean, it's a cool piece of history, and somebody put a lot of TLC into making this and all that. The reality is, the stuff is out there. I mean, there's a reason why it was in a donation pile and really nobody showed much interest in it. Is, what are you going to do with it? The same goes for a lot of these early scopes. Yes, there are certain models that look especially cool or really rare, really early type of oscilloscope, like say Tektronix's first oscilloscope. But these lower end ones, these kit ones, I don't know. Honestly, you know, so I'm saying I'll probably part it out, save the CRT, save the good tubes, save the ceramic tube sockets. If I didn't take it, it probably would have ended up in a dumpster. And there were other scopes there that had no takers when I left. Odd CRT socket. Well, I guess we got to undo the gift wrapping to see what this is. You got some kind of sellotape wrapped around aluminum foil. Homemade I wonder how effective this was. This would be a good electrostatic shield. It is not a good electromagnetic shield. Oh man! Oh, there we go. Stuff is like fused to the glass. You need something like mu metal, METAL, that shields for magnetic fields. Suspense getting to you. What are you? It's weird because it's so long and skinny. I'm used to fatter ones, like a 5UP1, I think it is. It's much fatter. I'm making a mess for myself. I'll have to clean up too. Oh, that is a weird looking electron gun. It's really long. There's a 5BP1. Okay. Jan. Got a chrome base on it. Which is very loose. Too bad this aluminum kind of fused to the base metal a little bit. There we go. Jan CHS 5BP1 made by Sylvania. Yeah, gutter looks good. So there we go. Well, that is going to be it for now. I am going to get to sorting through these power resistors. If anybody has any thoughts, has any info about that RCA color test jig, I'd be very interested. I already did a little bit of Googling looking for a manual for it, and I did not find one. But there is one out there that has, in addition to instructions on how to use it, a cross-reference to different chassis, and it tells you what adapters to use and stuff. That would be crazy useful for me, assuming it's good. So in a follow-up video I will open it up, check it out. It's supposed to have a rather elaborate yoke. Those switches are on the front were for matching the yoke impedance, horizontal and vertical. And then of course I want to test that CRT to see if it's actually good, because of course if the yoke and the CRT are bad, then well, I mean it's it's the end of that. But if they're good, then I'm going to be interested in trying to use it sometime. That's it for now. Thanks for watching.